He couldn't believe it. Would they tell him something that's not true? He doesn't know they sold Yosef. So why he doesn't believe his own sons? It's a davar d'avidi d'gluya. I mean, it's a davar pashut. So how he doesn't believe them? What didn't he believe? He didn't believe that that he reigned over Egypt, and Egypt did not reign over him. That he was the melech, and Egypt is lo malach alav. He's there for so long, it didn't have hashpah on him. That's what he couldn't believe. So Yosef sends the egolo. Agolo, but he sees the remnants of egel, of the egla rufa. Oh, Yosef is thinking Torah. He must be okay. I'm purposely stopping for a moment and skipping to the Zman of the Vilna Gaon. When the Vilna Gaon, once a woman came to the Gaon and said that I was married for a very short time. My husband left me, he abandoned me. I've been in a gun all these years, and a man has now come to me and says, I'm your husband. I want to resume our marriage, I'm sorry. And I don't even recognize him, but many years have passed. She didn't look the same either. And the fact is that, so somebody, the Gaon said, ask somebody, take him to shul. When he got to shul with this fellow, he said, show me, where did you sit in shul? He didn't know. All right. So maybe asked him more questions about shul, didn't know. What's the pshat? Clearly imposter, and it was true. So the idea is this: why didn't he know? Because he didn't. He asked many questions, so he had a lot of information about her and him, because he spoke to her husband, wherever the situation was. But because he was involved in tumah, this fellow, the type of person he was, and he wants to be married now to a woman, an Ashes Ish. What's the shadow? So therefore, you see, he's not thinking about Dvarim Shebekdusha. So how did the Gaon know? He looked at our Parsha. Since Yosef sent a remnant that had to do with Torah from the last time that I was with you, Father, Torah is Mogni Umatzli. It remains, and it's a shield for the person. And therefore, since his mind was here, it showed that he was still connected, and he had not been fatum. He didn't become undermined by the tomb of Eretz Mitzrayim. One idea. Hamei ben Yavin, that we stay, with the Torah in our heads. That's it. We should always know. A person says to you, "Tell me a good vort." You always have to have a good vort. There's no shot. Oh, let me think for a minute. They're always. You can say the same thing over every time. It doesn't make a difference. Just don't say it over to the same person every time. But the fact is, you come in, you always have, listen, it means your mind is always on Torah, but you never know when someone will say, Ben Torah, you're learning in yeshiva, can I hear something, give me a vort? You have it ready, that's it. Okay, and another idea. The 70 Nefashos went to Eretz Mitzrayim, and two of the children of Yaakov are Dan and Binyamin. Important to know, just to remember. We've spoken about it before. The Chafetz Chaim has mentioned it. Dan had one child. Binyamin had 10 children. 210, a little over 210 years later, the census is taken. Binyamin now has 35,000. How many does he have? He has 35,400 people. It's a large number, because they grew exponentially during the time of the Shibud Mitzrayim. That's Binyamin. How many children does Dan have? 62,700. You get the idea? If you and anybody would ever forecast, they'd say, of course, Dan is going to have much less than Binyamin. Binyamin has 10 children. Dan only has one. Kadosh Baruch Hu decides these things. No one can ever tell, especially in our Jewish world, what's going to be, because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is there and he takes care of all these things. All right. Another idea from Rav Moshe Feinstein. The Bnei Yaakov come before Paro, and Yosef tells them beforehand, you tell them without a question that since the time that we've been children, growing up, Anshe Mikna Hayu Avadecha Minurenu V'Yadata. That's our job, nothing else. Because of course, Paro would have taken all of them, and and he would want to give them positions of important positions, fame, fortune, everything is there for them. But what would be the problem? Because understand, listen, he'd see what he would get received from Yosef. These are Yosef's brothers. They also must be talented people. But one thing's for certain, we're not going to compromise our Yiddishkeit, so to speak, for fame, fortune, anything. And that's where the soul is, where people know now that if a question comes up, a shaila of, is it going to in any way hurt my Yiddishkeit? People do fantastic things. It's in their DNA. They move from state to state. They go from place to place. They change jobs, even though they're going to get lower salaries, whatever it is. You know, I remember knowing somebody who changed the job because the type of lashon that was spoken in a particular job by other members, other employees there, and was something that hurt the Yiddishkeit of this person, and therefore the change was made. This is the idea, and where do they get it? Get it from here. Yosef's brothers they forewent everything in order to be able to see to it that they would remain Yereim and Shleimim. Now, how much? Here comes Yosef brings Yaakov in front of Paro. His father comes, and the Das Kanim, it's the last Das Kanim in Bali Tosfos in the Parsha. So he says that they have this dialogue. Vayomer Paro el Yaakov, Kami yamei shnei chayecha. How old are you? Now, that's an interesting question that they start off. How old are you? You see a different conversation between Yaakov and the Rowan. He doesn't start, how old are you fellas, He says, but here, wow! And what happens? Vayomer Yaakov Paro yamei shnei megurei shloshim u'mei I'm 130 years old. But he says that yamei shnei chayai have been royim, they've been very hard. The Medrash says, Hashem says, here, I saved you from Lavan and Esav. I brought you back, Yosef and Dinah, and you're saying that your years are hard. I royim. For every word that you said, you're going to lose a year from your life. And how many, from Vayomer to the end of Yaakov's statement? 33 years. And therefore that's it. He lived to be 147. His father was 180. 33 years. But if you look at the psukim, it's not so. They're only 25 words. Not from Vayomer Yaakov el Paro, 25 words, not 33. Where are the other 8 words? Ella what? You have to look up. Now, I'm not remembering who said this. I don't want to attribute it to someone who it isn't. But this is said by the Achronim. Vayomer Paro. Vayomer is not the Vayomer Yaakov. It's Vayomer Paro el Yaakov. Yaakov walked in, and he wasn't talking at the moment, but his body was talking. He looked old and gray and white. Listen, old, gray, and white, that doesn't, you can't help that. However, he didn't have the chiyus that you'd figure that when a Kadosh Baruch was medaktik in tzaddikim, k'chud asar, Yaakov, you're still, you are the Klal Yisrael. When Paro sees you, the bechir of the ovos, you have to be more, and therefore, we took a year off of each of those 8 words that were not spoken, but were lived at that moment. That's the body language of listen, being we say a Talmud Chacham shenimtzi ravav bigdo is chayiv misa. We have to see how we come across the people. They have to see us as representatives of Hashem. They have to be able to say Sheyehei Shem Shemayim Nisahev Al Yodeinu. Major important thing. Yitz Hashem, kach it will be. We should have a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you.